Alright, so today's piece is by Javier Torres Maldonado. It's called, I think it's this one, Primer Libro del Canto Alado. It's a solo flute piece, but the three movements are progressively lower flutes, I think. The first movement is for piccolo. Second movement is for alto flute. I actually haven't looked at any alto flute yet. And then the last movement is fourth movement's for bass flute. Where's the third here? And third is for regular flute. So, yeah, the whole thing is 6 minutes long. So these are miniatures effectively, and they're very fast actually. The first one is at least. Yeah, wow. All of them are, yeah, quite fast. So it looks fairly interesting actually. Funded by the I guess the National Arts Council of Mexico. Uh, yeah, as many of his other pieces are. Dedicated to Mario Caroli. I'm assuming this is a flautist. I should also mention this is the last um, episode of the Flute series. So I will talk a little bit about my thoughts on the series at the end and put a timestamp in there. Mario Caroli is a flautist. Uh, this is his. This is one bio on Miyazawa website. This is actually more of an interview. So yeah, no bios here actually. But maybe I can find the recording of him playing it. Yeah, here it is. It's more like 7 minutes. So yeah, why don't I bang this out and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, so as always with Javier's pieces, the proportions of the thing are really interesting. His multi-movement works, I should say. The flute one is like the centerpiece, and it's 3 minutes long, and then all the other ones are much shorter. With the piccolo being like a decent size miniature, the bass flute and the alto flute ones are like super short. Yeah, lots of interesting techniques. I should probably give you the titles of the movements too, I realized. And also a translation of the actual title. Okay, so it translates to roughly to first book of the Winged Song. For the first movement, the piccolo one is the Nightingale, the Stairs. Second movement, Light of the Moon. Third movement, Flight, and fourth movement, Reminiscence of the Nocturne Wind. Um, Interesting that the most substantial one is just called has the simplest title. All the other ones have more elaborate ones. Um, yeah, really striking opening. I love the piccolo stuff, and I like the way that he sort of layers different parameters of flute playing. Like there's always something significant going on with like either switching between air sound and normal playing, or in this case, adding flutter tongue in certain moments and on top of rapid playing. Um, yeah, I think honestly the piccolo one was probably my favorite. But that just like contrast like of the first two movements, boom boom. That's really satisfying, and I also like getting into the third one and having spending lots of extra time on one. This repeated note idea seems to be a little bit more substantial. There's more you can do with it. So yeah, it's interesting that the third movement gets more development and stuff. Great piece to end the series on, I think, because it's like probably the most virtuosic flute thing we looked at, and it features every instrument in the family. We went through all those instruments in the series. Um, My thoughts on the series. So this one, I got to revisit a lot of pieces from my old, from my doctorate from University of North Texas because that school has such a robust flute studio in terms of their new music playing. Elizabeth McNutt's there, so a lot of flute music comes out of that school. I got to revisit some pieces from old colleagues, but also I think the rest of the pieces were pretty stacked too. Lots of new composers that we haven't featured on the channel yet, like Tomoko Fukui, Andra Delora May. I think it was our first Kokoros episode and our first Verez. Um, so yeah, and all the other ones were like a lot of the other ones were composers who. Oh yeah, Emmanuel Ontiveros, that was the first, and Sami Saif was the first. So yeah, just really expanding the repertoire covered on this channel. So I think that's really refreshing because past couple series before this one, honestly, it was just like all old shit we looked at before. Um, like same composers as always. So this was nice and refreshing. While I'm here, I may as well figure out what the next series will be. If you're not familiar, I just randomly pick a genre from what's left. Let's get rid of the flute ones and see what's next. Okay, bass clarinet and marimba. Uh, Hopefully, I have enough recordings out of here. I probably will. These scores were, I got them all at once from a specific ensemble. This is not a standardized um, ensemble, obviously, but I forget their name. There's a Boston-based new music ensemble that does this stuff. Transient Canvas. That's the group. That's the group I'm thinking of. So yeah, they provided all these scores to students at the University of North Texas when they had uh, a like reading session workshop type thing in I think 2022. And yeah, it's 8 scores. Most of them have recordings, and yeah, that will be next, I guess.